Dale here from the Time Machine. You know, actually, once in a while I get serious, and this is certainly one of the most serious bikes in the collection here at Wheels Through Time. 1921 Harley-Davidson, Keystone frame, board track racer, serial number 1. A couple interesting points. It's actually the only original paint Keystone frame board track racer known to exist. I've been studying these bikes for well over 30 years, and a true testament to Harley-Davidson's history. You know, I found this bike in Buffalo, New York. It was a pretty interesting lead, and I chased up there one day in a big snowstorm, and in the basement of an old man's house was this motorcycle. And it was truly a memorable experience in finding the machine, securing the bike, but what actually got to be a lot more fun was running the machine. Another very memorable experience back in 1997. I had this motorcycle at the Hall of Fame race at the Springfield Mile, and Jim Davis, the American legend of American board track racing, was there at Springfield Mile, sat on that bike, gunned the engine, watched it run, got a big smile on his face. I think Jim was 102 years old at that time, and truly had a great time. You know, Harley-Davidson didn't actually start racing professionally until late 1914. They had a lot of favored riders and special bikes, but in 1914, Harley developed their racing team. The motor was called the A motor, subsequently several variations of their racing motor. This machine is extremely special. It's a single-cylinder model, a blanked-off twin. Interesting to note, in 1920-21, there was some sanctioning laws involving really detuning and downsizing the engine from 1,000 cc's, those 110, 120 mile an hour bikes, to the 500 cc machine. So Harley experimented with building a few of these bikes. Of course, the only one known, original condition, and Harley-Davidson, board track racing, 1914, all through the 20s. This has to be the most outstanding example of an American board track racing motorcycle. You know, here at Wheels Through Time, I think it's probably one of the best collections of board track racing motorcycles in the world. The Big Valve X and the Indian racing bikes, the Thor racing bike. Steve Hunziger actually restored a few of these bikes, but this bike is so extremely special. It's in original condition. None of the paint has ever had anything cleaning or anything brushed on it. This example, unlike any other example in America today, has some really great features put on by the Harley-Davidson factory. The extremely cool Firestone racing tires, barrel shoveler carburetor. It has a slip sprocket arrangement I've never seen before. The Keystone frame, what that is makes the engine actually a stress member of the frame. Special tanks, hand oil pump, factory Harley racing colors. Pretty cool bike. You know, real pieces of American racing history like the 21 SCA bike, extremely extraordinary. Here at Wheels Through Time, a lot of extraordinary, really accoutrements to this era, racing helmets and clothing, but the cool thing, this box. This is the box that traveled to the various circus, board, and dirt track racing with Harley-Davidson in the 1920s. OFI, Harley-Davidson Motor Company on the front, inside, little bits and pieces of the racing days gone by.